Tribal Council meeting to order. And just to let everybody know, we are down here because of electronic issues, or we would be in the council chambers. Melvina, would you do the invocation, please?
Edora galandi hen he dejidosta juli heliga handeski ajino nimna dejidosta heldi do hest negad ost behati nolda dunena sa andana negisa nola nihu iski on he do hest do you dage. Father, we just thank you for this evening. We thank you for all your blessings. Lord, I just ask you to be with us. Give us guidance as we go about our work for the betterment of Cherokee Nation. Lord, I just ask you to be with those that are here, that you'll give them safe travel as to travel home tonight. In your name we give all things. Amen.
Shelley, will you conduct roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Sasha Black Fox Qualls. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Kevin Easley. Here. Lisa Hall. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Darrell Legg. Here. Dora Petzkowski. Here. Cody Poindexter. Joshua Sam. Here. Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith.
Here.
Kendessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right, good deal. If you've had a chance to look over the minutes, could I have a motion, please? Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, first off, our State of the Nation address. We have our Principal Chief, Chuck Hoskins, Jr. It is, sir.
Mr. Speaker, as I catch my breath, let me express that it's an honor to present to the council always and here for our December full council meeting, the end of this very momentous and I think very productive, as I've watched the council calendar year. The first announcement I'd like to make is an issue that was in front of you at the Rules Committee today, which you'll consider this evening, and that is the resolution to update our health capital plan as it relates to Hastings and as it relates to the replacement of the Salina Clinic with some additional significant provisions, which I appreciate the council's support on, which is to authorize the administration to negotiate agreements with Mercy Health System and separately with the University of Oklahoma, but both on the subject of cancer care. We have an opportunity to assist with the construction of two state-of-the-art cancer treatment facilities in very close proximity to the reservation. OU is looking at the Tulsa metropolitan area, and Mercy is looking at its property in Fort Smith. The opportunity to create more access to great cancer care is what our health system is about, what we want to do through partnerships. Of course, we do a significant amount of care for cancer patients already, but this will open up, Mr. Speaker, new avenues. And as we experienced with our partnership with Oklahoma State University, which is going to continue to be a wonderful partnership, you never know where these great partnerships will lead as we work with great institutions. Oklahoma State University being a great institution that has opened the doors to a great deal of, I think, progress for Cherokee Nation Health, and I expect the same with Mercy and with the University of Oklahoma. I want to credit the Deputy Chief of the Cherokee Nation for his leadership on this issue. He brought the Mercy team to us, opening up that conversation. That in turn led to the independent but related University of Oklahoma opportunity. What the council will do, authorizing us to move on towards negotiation, is to put us in a position to again open up access to cancer care in the way we have not done before. So I appreciate the confidence of the council at committee and anticipate your confidence here this evening. Today I signed an executive order on the subject of criminal justice reform, and many of you were able to join us for that order in the that executive order in the Supreme Court chambers. We deal, and the council deals with, seizing the opportunities post-McGirt, Mr. Speaker, as it relates to criminal justice. It has really required the attention of every Cherokee Nation leader to think about what we have to do now to make sure we meet our obligations with respect to building a justice system that meets the moment. That includes holding people accountable, it includes incarceration, it includes a court system that operates as it should, it includes increasing staffing, in which you all have funded at the Marshal Service, in our prosecutor's office, in our victim protection services. We've been engaged, of course, to harness new federal funds for this effort. We also have to look into the future. In the short term, there are reforms we can make with respect to sentencing that makes our system, I think, better than other systems, and we all want it to be the best system that we can make We also look at our reentry program. That is a program that's worked well, but we have an opportunity with this task force, and I appreciate Councilor Legg's interest in this in particular, to enhance our reentry program as we, in the post-McGirt era, focus more on our citizens who are leaving incarceration and moving into returning to society, and we know there's a great many barriers. And then finally, we have to continue to look at the future of detention facilities. Right now, we do it on a contractual basis. We have 16 contracts for the various parts of the reservation and beyond. I think long-term, long after those of us here, myself included, are out of these offices, Cherokee Nation leaders are going to have to continue to deal with the issue of incarceration, detention facilities, and we have to, I think, put forth some efforts down on paper, get a recommendation out to the council and to myself so we can really look in a very clear-headed manner at what it is going to take to long-term operate the kind of detention systems that we have to have, whether we want to continue to do it on a contractual basis or whether we want to perhaps create our own facility or partner with other tribes. It seems to me everything ought to be on the table, but we ought to have the facts, and we ought to not leave these offices with our successors ill-prepared to take on what's going to be a continual obligation of any responsible sovereign. I'm particularly proud of the Gadugi Corps legislation that you all passed at Rules Committee, and appreciate the support tonight. If you can pass that, Sean Crittenden, your former colleague, leads the Gadugi Corps effort, along with a number of other people in the administration, including Kane and Duncan. We're excited about the future. There's a bit of a blank slate here in terms of how we move forward, but we do have some structure in this act which will inform us as to how we engage people at the grassroots, Mr. Speaker, to take care of local problems and engage at-large citizens who are involved in community organizations who often, and I experience this all the time, I know the at-large council members know this well, the first thing you're often met with at-large is, what can we do to help? This will give some channel for at-large citizens to do additional things here on the reservation, and we may find that we go out to the at-large communities. But in any case, I appreciate the legislation which will authorize $3 million. Of course, in this first year, this abbreviated year, here we are in December, we anticipate committing about $1 million, Mr. Speaker, for this first year, but we anticipate this will be a long-term effort by the Cherokee Nation, and I think it will be a successful one. I returned recently from the White House Tribal Nations Summit, where hundreds of tribal leaders across the country gathered with our federal partners, members of the Biden-Harris administration, the cross agencies. The President signed an executive order that I hope and anticipate does what it says, which will be a more efficient way for Indian country to access federal funds, to participate in grant programs in a way that reduces red tape and barriers. We're always needing to do that because the name of the game here is speed, Mr. Speaker. The quicker that we can get resources to the Cherokee Nation from the government of the United States through the agencies, the quicker we can put that money to work, and we know that we spend that money better than the federal government spends that money, but we have to get that money before we can spend it. I know Councilor Deere was on site for the National Congress of American Indians, which has a role in preparing for that summit. Councilor, appreciate your leadership there. I attended a Economic Cooperation Summit, Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit a few weeks ago. I think in the future we will need to be more engaged, Mr. Speaker, in trade and even world trade, and I think indigenous nations across the country are thinking about that, and some are very much involved in that. It seems to me the Cherokee Nation has an opportunity to do that, so I was happy to be invited by that organization to make a presentation along with a few other indigenous leaders from around the country. We recently celebrated the anniversary of Taro, the 40th anniversary, Mr. Speaker, and Taro, of course, the subject being Native-owned businesses and putting people to work, and I think we've got records set across the board in terms of Taro participation, in terms of Cherokee people going to work on particularly these construction jobs. That means the dollars stay within our tribal economy, stay within your districts, and that's the way it ought to be. But we are in the midst of a really historic record of investment, capital investment, from housing to hospitals, or to the hospital, to the clinic, to a range of other efforts that are putting Cherokee people and entrepreneurs to work, and I think that's good for our economy. Career Services recently got a grant to put even more people to work by training them, a $1.4 million grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce. The Environmental Protection Agency also issued us a $1.4 million grant to help offset the needed infrastructure to better recycle, reuse brush and vegetation from the tribal landfill. My goodness, Mr. Speaker, as I read these, I think about all the work that people in these departments have done to get these grants, and the support of the council is so meaningful. That's translating into real dollars for the Cherokee people. The Angel Tree this year has concluded in terms of the sign-up, and gifts are being brought in, and over 3,000 Cherokee angels on the tree this year. This is an example of what we say more and more of in the administration, which is Cherokee goodness. This is Cherokee goodness on display. We're helping a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of families through the Angel Tree. We recently celebrated the Barbie doll of Wilma Mankiller, and that was a joyous occasion here recently as we celebrated here in Tahlequah and had a really good remembrance of our late, great Principal Chief, including remarks from her daughter, her only living daughter, Felicia Olaya, rather, and Charlie Soap, her widow. So we were very glad to gather at the Chota Center for that. Mr. Speaker, Sarah Hill recently cleared the Senate Judiciary Committee on a bipartisan basis. She is on her way to full Senate confirmation. We don't know when that will be. It could be before the end of the year, which is rapidly approaching, but getting through that committee process is significant. She had a tremendous amount of support, including by this council, including by the Intertribal Council of the 5 Civilized Tribes, including by tribal organizations across the country and non-tribal organizations. It seemed to me, Mr. Speaker, we had people on one side that were dedicated to making sure Sarah Hill got a fair hearing and could be evaluated on her merits. And if you evaluate her on her merits, the inescapable conclusion is that she's a highly qualified attorney, highly experienced attorney, well-suited for the district court position in the Northern District on a strong bipartisan basis from the Senate Judiciary Committee. They validated that sentiment. On the other side was a very small group led by Governor Stitt, and included the cockfighting industry. I never thought, Mr. Speaker, I would tell you that those two groups would align to try to defeat the first female Native American judge in the history of this state, if she's confirmed, but they did. Their efforts fell woefully short, and so we're looking forward to her confirmation. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas as we go into this holiday. I particularly think of our workforce, the dedication that they have shown this year. We're having a celebration for Christmas at Sequoia High School, and the date is escaping me at the moment, but we'll get that posted soon. And of course, year in and year out, the council is always invited. Did somebody say the date? I thought I heard Friday. Testing staff back there, they got it right. All right, and so finally, Mr. Speaker, we want to honor this evening with your indulgence Cleora Schools, and we have some guests here. We have Superintendent Kenny Guthrie, his wife Courtney is here with us tonight. The United States Department of Education recently named Cleora a Blue Ribbon School. This is a very prestigious honor. These are not given out lightly. Only a few hundred schools nationwide, Mr. Speaker, are given these. Just 3 other schools in Oklahoma have received this honor this year. It represents the best in education, celebrates the school districts that have achieved academic excellence. Those of us that are from areas closer to Cleora, this is not surprising. I think Councilor Shotpouch knows this well, and Councilor Callison as well, Councilor Vasquez. But this is a school that really sets a high standard. Very small school, year in and year out, they do a great job. So we thought we would give the superintendent an opportunity to just express his feelings on the award with your, if you find that acceptable, Mr. Speaker.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Speaker, I present to you Superintendent of Cleora Schools, Kenny Guthrie.
Mr. Speaker, Council, thanks for having me here tonight. It's an honor. I appreciate it. Don't want to take up much of your time, but we are, like you said, in Delaware County, small K-8 school. Primarily, I think we have 36% are Cherokee, and we're almost 50% Native American. So good mix of kids there, and it's just a wonderful school, great community, and great parents, and we have a wonderful board that we're just all in it for the same reason. That's just to create high standards and a great school, and we were honored. just to kind of give you a quick story what that means, I find people that just don't grasp what that National Blue Ribbon Award is, and it's been something that's been on my professional goal or bucket list, you might say, to obtain, and so very proud that we have a big team that's allowed that to happen. So, as he said, only 4 schools in the state of Oklahoma out of over 1,700 schools. We have 500 and some odd school districts, but it can be awarded solely to a school, not a district. So 4 out of 1,700 in the state of Oklahoma, and 353 nationwide out of over 130,000 public, private, and charter. So I think that equates to, I'm not great at math, but it's like less than 1%. So it's a pretty big honor, and we're very proud and happy to be here tonight to share it with you guys, and just want to thank you.
Well, that's a big accomplishment.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I'd be remiss in not circling back to Sarah Hill's nomination to complete the picture of the opponents. It included the United Ketua Band of Cherokee Indians in Oklahoma, which was vehemently opposed to Sarah Hill. But again, fortunately, that small group of opponents was not enough. Mr. Speaker, again, it's an honor to present on the State of the Nation. That concludes my remarks. Whatever.
Well, thank you for your inspiring words, Chief. A lot of great things going on in the nation. Congratulations again to your school. That's amazing. And Chief, as always, thank you for fighting for your people. We appreciate you. All right, next up, we have the Cherokee Warrior Veterans Awards with Deputy Chief Brian Warner and Secretary of Veteran Affairs, S. Joe Crittenden. How many we have tonight, gentlemen?
We got 2, sir.
All right. CO.
Members of the council, Mr. Speaker, it's an honor to be here, as always, to honor all of our Cherokee warriors with our Medal of Patriotism. So let's get right to it. So tonight, this will be a at-large district, so our counselors Kidwell and Coates be prepared. But our first Medal of Patriotism goes to the Cherokee warrior, Michael Ryan Craig. Mr. Craig entered in the United States Army in August of 1992. Mr. Craig attended basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Mr. Craig went on to train as a combat medic at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, and was assigned to the 25th Infantry Division. While with the 25th Infantry Division, Mr. Craig assisted in the humanitarian work in Thailand, along with training with the Thai military. Mr. Craig was trained in air assaults, tactics, and jungle warfare training. Mr. Craig re-enlisted and went back to Fort Sam Houston in Texas, where he trained to work on orthopedics and was assigned to the hospital on Fort Leonard. Mr. Craig was honorably discharged in June of 1999. Medals of Service: Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 4th Award, Army Good Conduct Medal, and the Humanitarian Service Medal. Mr. Craig, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, we thank you for your service to our country and to our tribe. Stand, come right up in the front. Okay, you want us to face back this way?
Yes,
okay.
please.
All right. Gentlemen, we'll walk right out here.
Right out here. Matt, here, sir.
Might to move just a little bit this way if y'all can, just a little bit. Perfect. All right, everybody. On count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Do you have any words you'd like to say?
Just that it was an honor to serve, and I'm glad that I was able to make the Cherokee proud.
All right, Mr. Speaker, Council, our next Medal of Patriotism goes to the Cherokee warrior Cornelius Stephen Long. Mr. Long is from District 8, so Mr. Poindexter, you are up. Mr. Long entered the United States Navy on December 13, 1972. Mr. Long was an Engineer B Division as an E-4 Petty Officer, VSS Oriskany CVA 34 attack aircraft carrier in Alameda, California. Mr. Long was then the Western Pacific Crew's 7th Fleet. Mr. Long stationed in many locations such as the Philippines, Southeast Asia, Japan, Manila, Hong Kong, China, Mombasa, Kenya, Brisbane, Australia, and Pearl Harbor. Mr. Long was honorably discharged on September 13, 1975. Service medals include the National Defense Service Medal. Mr. Long, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, we thank you for your service to our country and to our tribe.
Thank you, sir. This gentleman is my neighbor. I've known him a long time. Here's your.
All right. Mr. Long will roll right out here.
It's right next to Short. I'm Short. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of just them and then I'll have y'all jump in. All right, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, if y'all wanna jump in.
All right. You're right here, bang.
All right, count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Long, you got any word?
I have 6 brothers in the military, and I'm sure he's making sure.
Mr. Speaker, members of the council, again, it's an honor to be here and to bestow this honor upon all of our veterans again during this holiday season. Let's keep our veterans, their families, and active servicemen and women in our hearts and in our prayers because the things that they've went through for the freedoms that we all enjoy and the things that they continue to go through when they get home, it matters to them, and our prayers will mean the most. So thanks be to God. What don't?
Well, it's always a treat for this council to honor our veterans. That is certainly an honor that we take seriously, and we would like to tell you from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your service. All right, action of unfinished business, none pending. Committee reports. That brings up our monthly reports from our Cherokee Nation CEO, Chuck Garrett. Come on down.
Good evening, Speaker, Council. As always, a pleasure and honor to be here in front of you on behalf of the 10,000 hardworking men and women at Cherokee Nation businesses. Last month, when I stood before you, I had to share with you some disappointing news from our neighbor to the east. We had a setback last month with the Arkansas State Supreme Court. However, you know, hang around long enough and work hard enough, and now I get to share some really positive news, some news that sort of fresh off the press. Some of you may have seen it on Thursday evening. We were in Pope County at the Quorum Court meeting. Quorum Court is a 13-member legislative body for the county, and what we would call county commissioners, perhaps. And they have a legislative, they have an executive leader, which is the judge. So just to use those terms, because it's not the terms that we use here in Oklahoma. But the judge has been our longtime supporter and provided an exclusive letter of support for us about 4 years ago. and renewed it after our judicial setback last month. That is a critical piece to the overall requirements of the ultimate winner in the casino license battle. That's a requirement. You have to have that submitted along with your application to the Arkansas Racing Commission. As a additional show of support from Pope County, on Thursday evening, by a vote of 7-6, it was a landslide, but it was strong. No other casino operator has ever received support of the quorum court. So we were very proud to receive the exclusive support from the quorum court. Now, what does that mean? In their resolutions, they're saying, hey, we're not going to endorse any other casino operator. That really, on the local front, it's not quite checkmate, but it's check, and it is really the best position we've been in 5 years. We've been in some pretty good spots, but this is a really definitive moment at the local level. Now, what needs to happen? The Arkansas Racing Commission, the licensing and regulatory body over the casinos in Arkansas, needs to open an application period. They're expected to do so. We don't know when. We would hope that it's soon, at which time we will resubmit an application along with the resolution from the Pope County Quorum Court and the letter from the Pope County judge, and we will wait their 30 to 45 days during that application period, let them evaluate any other applicants. We think we'll be the only one that has, the required endorsements from the local, on the local level. So we feel like we're in really good position. We'll wait. We're monitoring it, obviously, on a state level, and hopefully the Racing Commission will act soon. So I'm pleased to bring you that news, and I'll share with you tomorrow a clip, speaking with the speaker earlier. It gives you some context to about sort of the magnitude of this decision. It's significant. So appreciate your continued support on that front. We've had some other good things, and I'll be with you tomorrow at the ENF, and we'll get into maybe some more details about some of the progress we've made on the financial front. Strong year-over-year performance. We have particular progress being made in Mississippi. Our market share continues to grow there, and we're excited about that. But I do have a couple of other things I wanted to share with you. Our 1839 Cherokee Meat Company recently wrapped up its first year of operations. And of course, at this point, USDA certified, state certified meat processing plant. We've processed a wide variety of animals at this point, really focusing on both the safety of our workers, but also producing top quality meats. We've offering discounts for citizens, veterans, and employees of Cherokee Nation and CMB. And we became a SNAP certified retailer just recently, which is a neat thing for our citizens. And we've sold about 20,000 in SNAP products, but also recently announced a $10 million grant that we secured through the USDA in partnership with Cherokee Nation. And it's going to allow us to do some really important work on that front. So that operation is really stabilized, and I think is in good position. Many of you were with us in Owasso at the Cherokee Nation Film Studios announcement. We had a ribbon cutting, groundbreaking several months ago now, and just last week the final beam of the frame was put in place, and so it was a big celebration, and we're continuing to make progress on that. expanded campus where really some important work is being done in the film industry and creating opportunities for Cherokee citizens to get engaged in that industry. And we're looking forward to hosting you all at a ribbon cutting soon, and we'll make sure everyone gets that date on your calendar and look forward to celebrating that. With that, Mr. Speaker, that will conclude my report, and happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for our CEO? That's really good news on Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of been a roller coaster a bit, and, you know, it seems like we get attacked from different sides, but every time you guys rise up and defend us well, so we would like to say thank you. And, you know, I know it's not over, but
yeah.
that is good news, sir.
It is good. I'll share some of those news clips with you all before I see you in the morning, and look forward to being with you.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you, Speaker.
All right, next, old business, none pending, new business.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add items 1 through 4 this evening.
Nice second.
All right, we have a motion to amend the agenda and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 1, coming out of the Resource Committee, Councilman Sam, would you take that, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, this is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation to lease tribal trust land to Dahlonega School, Independent School District Number 29, and I put this in form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, Councilman Legg, would you take this, please?
A resolution related to potential actions of the Cherokee Nation member of the Cherokee Health Partners, and I put this in form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, Councilman Coates, would you please take this?
Yeah, thank you. This is a resolution repealing and replacing Resolution 67-21 in support of certain healthcare capital projects under Respond, Recover, and Rebuild Plan, and I move for its approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, Councilman Callison, would you take that, please?
Cherokee Nation, Volunteer and National Service Act of 2023. I put this in the form of a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, do we have any announcements to my right? Kevin?
Yeah, I just wanted to announce District 14 just over the weekend lost a good Cherokee woman named Wilma Haas, and there's a big Cherokee family there. Really good family, good people, and have them in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Coates?
I also want to remember Wahila Friel, who was a very, very longstanding friend and a good part of the Puget Sound community, also a cousin to our former council lady, Meredith Fraley, who passed in Washington State recently. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody to the left? Lisa?
This Thursday, I'll be hosting my first District 3 community meeting at Dry Creek from 6 to 8. So come down and enjoy delicious food catered by Miss Carol Robbins. Thank you.
Candessa?
Next week, on Tuesday, December 19th, at the Tri-Community Web Building, there will be a District 2 community meeting for Briggs area residents, and we invite everyone to come out.
Sasha?
Thank you. I'd like to remember the family of Mr. Wendell Wing, resident of the Lost City community. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Councilman Poindexter, I'm sorry, I skipped you.
I'd like to remember the family of Kathy Gonzalez from my district, first language Cherokee speaker. Just remember them in your thoughts and prayers. And we are having our first community district meeting, 7 and 8. So we're inviting everybody out. It's Friday at 6. So if you're not busy, come out and get some barbecue.
All right, so anybody else? Victoria?
Yes, I would like to remember the family of Mr. Joe Francis Ramsey from Bonita. She was a proud Cherokee, and she will be missed. Thank you.
EO.
Yes, the family of Lucy L. Weber of Salisaw. She was 87. She was an LPN at Sequoia Memorial Hospital for 45 years, and she was the interpreter. She helped a lot of people. One more. I want to recognize James F. Smith. He was also 87. He passed this month, and he was my hero, and he was my brother. And I want to tell everybody that I couldn't be more overwhelmed by all the support of Sequoia County and the surrounding areas. Our whole family appreciates it so much. Thank y'all.
All right. Anybody else? Well, I'd just like to say in closing that, it's, sometimes it's a fight. A lot of wonderful things happen in the Cherokee Nation, but, it doesn't come easy and doesn't come free at times. Sometimes the support that, you think you're going to get just doesn't come in the places that you think it's going to. So, but I'd just like to thank this chief and this administration to continue to fight for the Cherokee Nation and to continue to fight what's best for our people. So congratulations to Sarah Hill. Congratulations to your school system. That is an amazing feat. So I would like to tell everybody, we hope from the Tribal Council, we hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and thank you for coming to our meeting. So I need one more motion. We have a motion to adjourn. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned.